Global warming and its health impact. Global warming is the increase in Earth's average surface temperature because of the effect of greenhouse gases. These gases absorb long-wave radiations and warm the atmosphere, and this process is called the greenhouse effect. It has led to many changes on the planet, such as a rise in sea level, massive melting of snow and land ice, elevated heat content of the oceans, increased humidity, change in the timings of seasonal events, and many others. Since the mid-19th century, human activities have increased greenhouse gases such as carbon dioxide, methane, and nitrous oxide in the Earth's atmosphere that resulted in increased average temperature. The effects of rising temperature are there is going to be soil degradation, loss of productivity of agricultural land, desertification, loss of biodiversity, degradation of ecosystems, reduced freshwater resources, acidification of the oceans, and the disruption and depletion of stratospheric ozone. All these things will have an impact on human health, causing non-communicable disease such as injuries during natural disasters, malnutrition during famine, and increased mortality during heat waves due to complications in chronically ill patients. Direct exposure to natural disaster is also going to impact on mental health, and although too complex to be quantified, a link has been established between climate and civil violence. Over time, climate change will reduce agricultural resources through reduced availability of water, alteration and shrinking arable land, increased pollution, accumulation of toxic substances in the food chain, and creation of habitats suitable to the transmission of human and animal pathogens. People living in low-income countries are going to be vulnerable. Climate change scenarios include a change in distribution of infectious disease with warming and changes in outbreaks associated with weather extreme events. Global warming affects water heating, rising the transmission of waterborne pathogens. Pathogens transmitted by vectors are particularly going to be sensitive to climate change because they spend a good part of their life cycle in a cold-blooded host invertebrate whose temperature is similar to the environment. A warmer climate presents more favorable conditions for the survival and the completion of the life cycle of the vector, going as far as to speed it up, as in the case of mosquitoes. Diseases transmitted by mosquitoes include some of the most widespread worldwide illness such as malaria and viral diseases. Tick-borne diseases have increased in the past years in cold regions because rising temperatures accelerated the cycle of development, the production of eggs, and the density and distribution of the tick population. The areas of presence of ticks and diseases that can transmit have increased, both in terms of geographical extension than in altitude. In the next years, the engagement of the health sector would be working to develop prevention and adaptation programs in order to reduce the cost and burden of climate change. Addressing temperature change will require many solutions. There is no magic bullet. Yet nearly all of these solutions exist today, and many of them hinge on human changing the way we behave, shifting the way we make and consume energy. The required changes span technologies, behaviors, and policies that encourage less waste and smarter use of other resources. For example, improvements to energy efficiency and vehicle fuel economy, increase in wind and solar power, biofuels from organic waste, setting a price on carbon, and protecting forests are all potent ways to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide and other gases trapping heat on the planet. Other efforts are aimed at building better batteries to store renewable energies, engineering a smarter electric grid, and capturing carbon dioxide from power plants and other sources with the goal of storing it underground or turning it into valuable products such as gasoline. Some people argue that nuclear power, despite concerns over safety, water use, and toxic waste, should also be part of the solution because nuclear plants don't contribute any direct air pollution while operating.